let me tell you of the days of high adventure. What's up, everybody? Mythic Legions time. This is a new figure release from the Poxis wave, and he's so awesome just looking in the package. Let's take a minute to check out the artwork. On the front, right here in the top corner, this is a cliffside with a waterfall, and this up here is an enormous structure, and that's the symbol for the convocation of Basilia. That's his faction. That's a cobra with feathered wings. That's like just a dope image to see there, and that's like far away in the distance. We've got some structures here. That is the faction symbol. The other side, and it talks about him being an intermediary between the mortal and spirit worlds. I'm having a hard time seeing it. I'm getting old. I need some glasses. Over here, you see that same stylized symbol, just using geometry, and there's no snake. But these would be the wings, and then that would be the snake head, but it's a blue flame here. So that's kind of really dope. Quick look at the back. I should have Kalazir coming soon, shipping, and I think that's Azazazar. I think that's how you say his name. I believe I should have him also coming shipping, and I want to pick him up. I think his name is Arakagor, and he is really, really dope. So let's open up THARNOG, our star today, and let the high adventure begin. Quick look at the insert background artwork. So there we have, I don't know what that's called, but I'm sure it has a really cool name. But there we have the cobra with the feathered wings sitting there atop that cliffside. And that's really dope. I mean, that thing must be massive, massive, massive. I wonder if there's like a palace inside of it or something. Over here on this side, we have a really nice tower with something spiraling around it there. Really dope piece. All right. Starting up here. The sculpting is really unique. First and foremost, it doesn't look like a generic orc face. His nose is really high up into his brow ridge here. Super short nose. Really wide mouth. These are nice and soft, so you don't have to worry about them snapping off. These are a little harder. I like all the painted beads. It always fascinates me because this painting, I believe, is done by machine. So like all this little tiny detail, and for it to be mass produced, I'm always impressed by, you know, even look at these tiny beads right here. You know, I'm impressed by the bone and just the colored and weathered effect of all the bone. And looking at the side, so these are his pauldrons, and it's like bone wrapped over bone. This isn't brittle either, very nice. So you've got ports here to receive the moose antlers. It attaches here to the back. Wow, this is nice. I mean, look at the paint. You know, you've got like, this is like brass. This plate here, really cool. I really dig these wraps. Check out all this bone, man. This is super nice. Very, very soft. Nice. How about this? Yeah, super soft. Wow, this is one side of the jaw, then up the other side of the jaw. These little baggies. Little pouch right there. Oh, wow, that's blue. Nice. Never seen this before. This is really nice. Down by the feet, you've got those nice wraps. The ankle joint has a nice paint match. And he has black nails. Let's look at some of his accessories, and then let's kind of like suit him up. Portrait number 2 has the war paint. But if you just look at this paint pattern and then the one that he has on, it's identical. It's identical. And it's perfect and pristine. So that's probably mass produced. And it's like, what kind of machine, you know, has that kind of precision? Like, he has this badass staff, which is loaded again with different skulls. I wish I knew the animals that belong to these skulls. Different feathers. Almost looks like a dream catcher. Another bone there. A piece of what looks like metal there. A skull. I don't think that's a human skull. It might be like an orc skull. Looks like a small orc, I'll tell you that. You get a couple of extra hands for when he's working on incantations. Very nice. And then you got your moose antlers. We're just going to plug these bad boys right in. And I think I have those on correctly. They look absolutely wonderful. And all of the deep etching inside of the bone looks great. And they're also, I mean, they're hard plastic, but there's like a give to them. There's almost like a softness to them. They don't feel brittle, you know, so that's really nice. There's a little bit of give to them. So really nice. I mean, that looks wonderful. He's a big boy, so he can carry all that weight. I don't know what kind of animal this is. I don't know what kind of bone that would be either. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Or maybe it's like, I don't know. I don't know what that is, but it's really nice. And he wears it well. I guess this is like a crystal ball, right? For lack of a better way of describing it. And it is pretty much glued to the hand there. So that would be like a spell casting hand, similar. And it is his right hand. So let's swap that out and let's get his other staff in his hand and let's check him out. All right, so we've got him with his staff. We've got the crystal ball there. The only thing I didn't put on and haven't shown yet was his shoulder wrap. You know, so this would go underneath the pauldrons and wrap around his shoulders to keep him nice and warm. I really like this crystal ball and the translucent, I guess that's like smoke or kind of like magical haze. I think it looks really nice in the way it catches light. Very, very dope. This is an absolutely wonderful looking figure. Let's do a quick size comparison and then we'll do articulation because I want to see how he moves about. So first up, I will bring out Canuck's Vol from Cosmic Legions. And this is the other brute scale figure that we've gotten from Four Horsemen Studios in their different Legions lines. And in terms of a typical scale Mythic Legions figure, and he's a wizard and he's awesome. And he's a shaman, and he's awesome. And they're both from the Convocation of Basilia. And I guess they both think that's awesome. I think it's awesome. Quick look at THARNOG without all his armor pieces. Straight green orc. Really dope sculpting throughout. Look at the striations here on his tricep. Diesel quads. Nice smooth transition on the sculpting here of the knees. These wraps, I thought they might have been a separate armor piece with swivel there, but it seems to me, and I could be wrong, it seems to me like this wrap is a piece of plastic over the sculpting of the calf. So unless I'm mistaken, because I'm still new to the line the last couple years, I think this is like the first completely bare lower leg in Mythic Legions. I think that you could pull this piece down because if you look, you see that? You see the green of the leg there? So I think you could pull the wrap off and you'd have the complete green leg, upper part and lower part. The only thing is the transition here, you'd have to work with it, you know? But that's pretty cool. You know, so that's coming down the line and it's already here as a feature. Very dope. Up here, however, this is a separate molded piece and it articulates. So just another reason why I think this is definitely a removable wrap piece. Very cool. All right, let's look at articulation. Let's start up here with that really long beard that is kind of stiff. I mean, there is give to it. It's not completely brick solid. So that's cool. All right, so let's take a look. So you've got way up. Very nice. Very nice. And in terms of down, he can give you some downward angle, but you're going to have to activate the waist to get him to look down to the shorter people. And the back, give us an easier look at his tilt to either side. It's not bad, actually. That's pretty good for a big guy. Can he go back? That is actually great. Coming forward, this large belt piece is going to catch and stop him a little bit, so you'll kind of like activate the hip and get him forward there. Arms. You'll get your 90, very nice. You've got your swivel there, of course. You've got additional swivel at the elbow, and it's a lot smoother than with other sculpts. It's a much smoother rotation because it's actually intended to rotate and swivel there. So it doesn't catch or warp the plastic of the tricep. It just swivels freely, so that's a nice feature. Then you've got additional swivel here at the wrist, and as we saw, additional swivel here at the wrap by the forearm. So really cool. Yep, swivel there at the waist. These figures have outstanding range for splits. Forward, back. These hips are independent of one another, so you don't have any issues with them at all. They're very, very sturdy. You've got close to 90. No, that's 90. You've got 90 there. And again here, you have swivel, and it's intended to swivel. So it doesn't catch or warp the knee anywhere as it goes around. The wraps do not give us boot cut swivel. And you've got your swivel and your generous rocker there at the foot. Beautiful toe down, check that out. And great range up, beautiful. Want to see the rocker? There it goes. He has a staff. I don't know if a staff qualifies as a melee weapon. It could be a melee weapon depending on how it's being used. But I guess a staff is a staff regardless. It's a stick. And you could clobber somebody with a stick anytime you got a stick. So THARNOG has to try to execute the iconic pose of Conan before we do another theme comparison. You see that? He's my kind of guy. I got to try to like work with it because I got the wrong hand there, you know? So he's going to get some leniency there because I don't have the right equipment for him. So we're going to lean it a little bit while he gets leniency. We're leaning with leniency. We're going to use that big old tooth there, whatever it's called. He's using it now like if he was shooting pool. He could also be casting magic from that stance. Let's go ahead and do one quick final comparison and get him next to my Articulation from the 2-pack. So this is version 2.0. I took his helmeted lion head and I put it on a barbarian buck and gave it some other different bits. And now he's my Nemean lion, Hercules, you know? But I brought him out just so you could see how he scales next to the new brute scale. I don't have a half giant. I do have some trolls, but they're too gigantic to fit in the scale in the screen. So just quick side by side. Let's look at the sculpting. Get him there for a little face off. Better look up, bud. That's a meeting of the minds. They're meeting to set up some plan. That's what's going on there. They're meeting to set up a team up, and he's the emissary. Very cool. The appeal for the Mythic Legions figures with me is the entire fantasy vibe. And the fact that they've created this whole universe and the characters are diverse and they're so unique. The sculpts are fire. And in the 3 or 4 years that I've been collecting, the figures have become more detailed and more diverse. And the universe has become deeper. And it's just a very, very cool universe. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings, Conan, He-Man kind of fantasy. And I love all that stuff, man. Heck yeah. And as always, everybody, thank you so much for coming out and sharing in the experience of collecting toys as an adult. And I hope you're able to keep coming back and sharing the high adventures too. And until next time, everybody, thank goodness it's playtime.